you guys know me. If you've been watching me for the 2.5 years that this channel has been up, you know that I want a pass rush. I was ecstatic when we got Aiden Hutchinson, and he has lived up to every bit of the expectations that I've had for him, but he can't do it by himself. So we start talking about pass rushers in the middle of the season. And this guy's name came up, Brian Burns, and he used to be high on my list. And then a guy named Josh Allen kind of took over for him. And Josh Allen is where I plant my flag. I put my foot down at Josh Allen. It's very unlikely that we get Josh Allen. And it's very unlikely that we get this guy as well, but I don't know if I want him anymore. I do not want, as a matter of fact, I said this if you watch Rocked On Syndicate, the morning show that happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 a.m., I talked about that Brian Burns was kind of an He was an for me now. I'm not even that over the moon about him anymore. And I'm definitely not after what this is supposedly coming out about Brian Burns. Now, let me give you a little bit of history. A couple years ago, this is heading into the 2022 NFL draft. Or it was either 22 or 23. The LA Rams had given up, 2 first-round picks to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Jalen Ramsey. So that took their 2020 and 2021 first-round picks away. Then they traded Matthew Stafford for 2 more first-round picks, the 2022 and 2023. Well, I guess it was maybe about a year ago, somewhere around there, between a year and 2 ago, the LA Rams really, really wanted Brian Burns, and they were willing to give up 2 more first-round picks for Brian Burns, and that would have been 2023 and 2024. They would not have had a first-round pick until 2025, which would have been 6 years. Well, why am I talking about the Rams? They turned it down. The Carolina Panthers turned down this trade. And I'm betting right now that they're regretting every single bit of it. Brian Burns has become kind of a thorn, a nuisance, if you will. Now, I'm not going to subscribe to The Athletic. The way that they do their website, I really don't care for it. At least give us the option to read some of your stuff before you put it down behind a paywall. I just don't like that. But this is coming from JPA Football, one of the sites that I follow. I used to follow another one, but I had to get away from him. Says Panthers pass rusher Brian Burns was seeking $30 million per year in a contract extension from the team, per the reporter. The Panthers were willing to go as high as 5 years at $27 million a year. I'll say this. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything. No wonder they can't win. No wonder they have not been relevant in almost 10 years. Who does this? Now, contrary to what you might believe, I do not want Brad Holmes to do this. I do not. For a Brian Burns, $30 million for 5 years, which means at the end of his contract, he'll be almost 30 years old. So Brian Burns, listen, bro. You ain't winning nothing in Carolina. I think that's very clear. You're not going to win anytime. That 5 years is going to go past and you're not going to win anything. But the drama between the two teams. So I'm going to put in the comment section, and I want you to answer this question. Do you think that Brian Burns is either A, trying to price himself out of Carolina so that they basically, it's such a bad taste that they want to move on, or B, that he doesn't care about winning, he just wants money? Now, the reason that this is about the Detroit Lions is now I want the Detroit Lions to stay as far away from Brian Burns as possible. We don't need people like this on our team. We just don't. Danielle Hunter, that's one thing. Chris Jones, another thing too, right? Where you hold out or you hold in. I just don't feel like Brad Holmes is going to go for those guys because we're all about grit and the team dynamic. And I don't think that screams either, right? So that's the knock on those two guys. Both massive monsters, but you have that knock on them. Brian Burns, you slowly kind of went down my list. You went from top of the list to start the season till at the very bottom where I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So check this out. Not too shabby. Year one, his rookie year, had a Trey Flowers type season, 9 sacks, coming off of 12.5. Regressed a little bit, 8.5 sacks. So let me get this straight. You are coming off an 8.5 sack season. You have 48, so your lowest is 7.5. You average, and let's just say you average about 9 sacks a season, or we'll just give him 10. I haven't done the math. Let's give him 10 sacks a season. Are we going to pay? Who in their right mind is going to pay a 10-sack guy $30 million a year? 30 for 5 years. For 5 years. You're not Danielle Hunter. You didn't have 16 and a half. You didn't have 17. You're right now, he's up there with Epinesa. I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel had 6 in 16 games. And Andrew Van Ginkel wasn't even a starter for most of the season. So Brian Burns can stay where he is in Carolina. Makes no sense. Don't want anything to do with Brian Burns. Stay far away from him, as I believe that Brad Holmes would. And I know the Carolina Panthers are kicking themselves. Could you imagine? They would have had a first-round pick this year and next year from the LA Rams if they had traded away Brian Burns. He is becoming a thorn in the side of the Carolina Panthers. So you know what? Check him off the list. Brian Burns can go kick rocks. He can stay exactly where he is. That's not the type of guy I want anything to do with. So let me see, Brian. Let me see. You got people out here making $27,000 a year. And what is the difference between $27 million and 30? I mean, really, what is the difference? If anybody was willing to give me $27 million, $27 million, oh, it's about $3 million. I mean, okay, I'm all about knowing your worth and agreeing, you know, and standing for that. But come on, bro. Really? So you want $30 million. You quote unquote turned away or allegedly turned 27 down. So what do you think you're going to get from another team? My team specifically. Nah, we good, bro. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Brian Burns, ridiculous to me. This is ridiculous. He can stay exactly where he is and continue to lose like he's been doing his entire career. So Brian Burns, stay where you are, man. Enjoy sunny Carolina. Hopefully they get that field straight for you. I don't want nothing to do with Brian Burns anymore. He is officially off my list. Brad Holmes, I don't see this happening. It was already a long shot, and now stuff like this, I'm telling you, man, we don't want anything to do with this type of stuff. So let me know in the comments below. We're gonna, if this is true, because it might be alleged, you know, it might be an allegedly thing. So if this is true, but I tell you what, this stuff with Brian Burns has been going on for a while. And I'm telling you, the Carolina Panthers are regretting not trading him. I know they wish they would have done it now because this guy is an absolute nightmare. Nothing to do with him. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you turned off from Brian Burns like I am? Let me know your thoughts. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. I'm going to keep pushing it until we get to 20K. 20K is a giant milestone, and I'm really trying to give away this lion. It's literally already in the box. It's already taped up. I got the address label. I'm just waiting to write the person on it. So subscribe. Let's get to 20K by the end of the week. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Contrary to what you believe, man, or what you might believe, I don't want this team to break the bank. I really don't want them to do that, especially. So, I mean, you know, watch me enough and you'll know.